what's up, guys? And so, Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse is finally here, and this is the long-awaited sequel for Into the Spider-Verse as it follows Miles and Gwen as they travel to the multiverse. It was always Spider people. I gotta say, with this film, I really enjoyed it. I thought this was like the best Spider-Man film, and even with the animation style, and even with its beautiful layout, and even with everything it's continuing Miles Morales' journey, especially with the multiverse and how everything is told, especially with the story and with everything involved in this awesome film as well. And so in this video, this will be my full official review for Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse. We'll go over everything, including go over the ending and that cliffhanger that sets up the next movie, beyond the Spider-Verse, and so much more as well. And so if you're new to the channel and don't something like this, then be sure to subscribe with the bell so don't miss out on videos of this. So let's get into it. And now, going in this film, I really enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse. It was my introduction to Miles Morales, and even with an animated Spider-Man film, which involves many versions or many variants of Spider-Man, including for Peter B. Parker and so much more. And even as I love all the Spider-Man variants in that first film, and with anyone can wear the mask. And plus, I love that first one. Plus, it won so many Oscars. It was loved by everyone. But even with its long-awaited sequel, and that was delayed so many times. And it's because they want to perfect the animation. And even with the animation style, it was absolutely beautiful from a start to finish. And even with its story and with everything when it was told, it was really well done. And now, with the basic premise of the film is that we follow Miles Morales as he's still trying to struggle through life without being Spider-Man, and with school, and he hasn't seen his Spider-Man friends in a while, and reunites with Gwen and travels the multiverse, and he with Miguel, Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, what he's trying to do with the multiverse as well. Plus, I'll get to him in a bit, and even with a spy who is the main villain of this film, and even with what it turns out, he was actually involved in that with that collider in the first film, and for what he plans to do, and with his threat, it's to destroy everything that Miles loves, including for his world, and with everyone that he cares and loves. And now, with the spot in the film, I think with him as a villain, I really enjoyed him. I think everyone in my theater was crying up a lot, especially with his holes, and with the way that Miles was interacting with the spot, it was totally hilarious as well. Especially with that scene and with what he was doing with the ATM, and then with the Spider-Man and the spot trying to fight, and even with Miles trying to be a hero. And then with the officer Morales as well being involved, and then even with the spot that he can travel through many different universes, and then we wound up in so many places, including for a Spider-Man universe, including for a live action cameo from the Venom universe with Mrs. Chen from the first two of Venom films, and I think it's crazy that we got a live action cameo from the Venom universe, and so that means that when all these universes others start to combine as well, and even with the spot of what he's trying to do is basically destroy everything that Miles loves, and because even with Miles who is trying to solve the collider, and even with the spot who was in his human form, and that he was involved with the collider, and even for when it closed, and that turned him into basically from a human form all the way into the spot with many holes. And now with Miles and Gwen's chemistry and their relationship, it's really explored really well in this film. I mean, when the movie opens, and it is even telling Gwen's backstory about how the Peter Parker and her universe, about how she became friends with it, and essentially died, and that's how Gwen didn't want to make another friend until she encountered Miles, and that was from the first first film. This was like just like exploring Gwen's backstory and how she became this Spider-Gwen on like trying to help people. With Miles and Gwen's chemistry, as I said before, it's really explored really good as they're even trying to get into a relationship as well. And even with Miles introducing Gwen to his parents, and even though they're starting to get into a real relationship, and even trying to catch up. And plus, I love the Gwen, aka Spider-Gwen in this movie. And now, with the multiverse aspect in this film, I really loved it, and especially as we get to experience the Spider Society headquarters, as we call it, for New York, which is like an older version for New York as well. And even though Miles and Gwen just going through this headquarters, exploring all the Spider people, even with the Spider people in this film, I thought it was really well done, especially in introducing all these Spider variants, and especially my absolute favorites are Spider-Punk, Spider India, and even with a better really aka the Scarlet Spider, and like I just really enjoyed them, and even with the way these Spider people were introduced. And even with all the Spider-Man variants that like we see go quite get introduced, but especially early on in the film, and that's what Jessica Drew, and even the Miguel, Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, and even as walk past it, we even see some cameos as well, such for Donald Glover's Prowler, with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but these are all just like flashbacks, and these are all in like a live action cameos that to explore each of Spider-Man stories, and even with a branch of timelines, and even with each Uncle Ben. And next time I watched about Miguel Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, and I really enjoyed his performances, especially as he was played by Oscar Isaac, and I really enjoyed him, especially as he was this like evil bad guy, and that was trying to do something with Miles, and even with the reason why all these Spider people, and even for Spider-Man 2099, are all after Miles, because Miles did something that he was also supposed to do, it was like saving people while like another universe was collapsing, and that was in that universe where we got introduced to this is Spider-Man India, and even with Miles trying to save people, even though that he was also supposed to, and like that creates a really bad things, and even for what Miguel's plan is, it's basically to conquer the multiverse, and even try to be the king in that universe as well, and possibly, and even with this one as possibly try to make a connectivity to the MCU. I mean, like I think this is like a film that I didn't focus at all in the MCU, but it could be set up for something big. Just with the film overall in general, I thought that this was a great film, and even with the animation, and even with the Gwen's backstory, as we never got to explore that in the first film, but I think that I did told her backstory really well, and even for her story, especially for what's about to play into the next film as well. And plus, I really enjoyed Gwen's story, especially with her dad, who was Captain Stacy, and especially in the third act, especially with the Spider-Man 2099 and the Spider people who are after Miles. And now, with this crazy, the third act and final battle as well as Spider people and Spider-Man 2099 who are all after Miles, and even with a crazy twist and reveals that happened, is that with Miles and that spider that bit him, it turns out it wasn't from his dimension, that it was not supposed to bite him. But Miguel tells Miles that he was not supposed to become Spider-Man, and with the spider that bit him, it came from the wrong dimension, and which caused his Peter Parker and his universe to die, and even the Miles who end up on Earth 42, and what is it, and how about even a version of Miles who was Prowler, and even with him, like he was supposed to become Spider-Man, and with our Miles on Earth 1610, was supposed to become like a normal kid, while with the Peter Parker in his universe was supposed to stop the Collider. And now, even with these last scenes in the film, with Miles being taken hostage, but by Aaron and trying to break free, while and with the spy as now going after his universe, so he has to go and has to save his father, and even with Gwen and that like makes amends with her father after he learned and that was Gwen that she is a Spider Woman, and that made her father to quit the force as a police officer, and then they hug it out, and even though with the Gwen and Dahlia winds up a spider army to go and find Miles. With this one at the end, there are no post-credit scenes, but and then it said that to be continued, and the next it said Miles Morales will return in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So it sets up so much, especially for the next film, which I think within the next film is going to be totally wild. And then, like I said, with Across the Spider-Verse, I thought this was the best Spider-Man film. I really liked the animation. I thought it was beautiful, and I really liked how everything was so well done, even though with the multiverse aspect, even the Miles and Gwen's chemistry and their relationship, it was really explored so super well. Even the Spider-Man 2099 who's trying to conquer the multiverse, and even with that massive cliffhanger ending, and it definitely led me wanting more, especially in Beyond the Spider-Verse, where we could explore so much more, and even people behind the scenes, as I said, like we didn't see nothing yet, and even though we saw so many Spider people in this film, it turned out I think that there's gonna be so much more, and even if we could get some live action cameos, that'd be so insane, and even like as we were about to get a live action of Miles Morales debut sometime down the road, that'll be very exciting as well. And so yeah, I just really enjoy this film, and this is a highly recommend as well. And so that's gonna be for this video. Let me know you guys thoughts in the comments below, and if you've seen it Across the Spider-Verse, and give me a rating between 1 out of 10. Give this video a like and subscribe to notification about future videos, and like at least always follow me on Twitter. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.